How to Stay Rich Forever. Written and published by Audiobooks. True wealth isn't measured by the numbers in your bank account. It's measured by how long those numbers can sustain themselves and grow across time. Throughout history, we've seen countless examples of sudden wealth vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Lottery winners who end up bankrupt, professional athletes who lose their fortunes, and inheritors who squander generational wealth. The difference between temporary riches and lasting wealth lies in understanding that being rich forever transcends mere monetary value. The foundation of lasting wealth rests on three distinct but interconnected pillars: financial capital, intellectual capital, and social capital. Financial capital represents your monetary assets, investments, and cash flow. Intellectual capital encompasses your knowledge, skills, and ability to adapt to changing markets. Social capital consists of your relationships, reputation, and networks that create opportunities and protect your interests. When these three pillars work in harmony, they create a self-reinforcing system that can weather economic storms and evolve across generations. Lesson 1. Wealth that lasts. What it really means to be rich forever. Consider the Rothschild family whose wealth has endured for over 200 years. Their success wasn't solely built on financial acumen. It was their investment in education, their cultivation of strategic relationships, and their commitment to passing down both knowledge and values that enabled their fortune to flourish across centuries. They understood that preserving wealth requires a holistic approach that goes beyond simple money management. The modern wealth matrix introduces a new way to measure your true net worth. Instead of focusing solely on assets minus liabilities, it evaluates your wealth sustainability across multiple dimensions. How diversified are your income streams? What percentage of your wealth is tied to your personal effort versus working for you autonomously? How many generations of your family understand financial principles? These questions reveal the real strength of your wealth foundation. This deeper understanding of wealth brings us to an often overlooked truth. Sustainable wealth is a system, not a number. The truly wealthy don't just accumulate money. They build mechanisms that naturally generate and protect wealth. They create businesses that can operate without their daily involvement, invest in assets that appreciate over decades, and establish family governance structures that ensure responsible stewardship of resources. The path to lasting wealth begins with shifting your perspective from short-term gains to long-term value creation. This means making decisions today that might not pay off for years or even decades. It means investing in your children's financial education as much as their academic education. It means building relationships and reputation capital that can open doors for generations to come. Your journey to sustainable wealth starts with understanding where you currently stand. Are you building wealth that can last, or are you simply collecting money? Are you developing the intellectual and social capital necessary to protect and grow your financial capital? Are you creating systems that can operate independently of your personal effort? These questions form the foundation of your wealth sustainability score, a crucial metric for anyone serious about creating wealth that truly lasts forever. The wealthy families who have maintained their fortunes across centuries share common traits. They prioritize education, maintain strong family bonds, diversify their investments across multiple asset classes, and establish clear governance structures. They understand that wealth preservation is an active process requiring constant adaptation to changing circumstances while staying true to core principles that have proven successful over time. As you begin your journey toward lasting wealth, remember that true riches are built on a foundation of sustainable practices, continuous learning, and strong relationships. The goal isn't just to accumulate money, but to create a legacy that can benefit generations to come. This requires developing habits, systems, and mindsets that support long-term wealth creation and preservation. Lesson 2. The Daily Routines of Millionaires. The true secret to maintaining wealth lies not in grand gestures or occasional brilliant decisions, but in the small, consistent actions taken every single day. Wealthy people who maintain and grow their fortunes understand that their daily habits form the foundation of their lasting success. These routines, while often simple in nature, create a compound effect that shapes both their financial destiny and overall quality of life. The wealthy start their days early, typically between 5:00 and 6:00 a.m., not because they're following a trend, but because these quiet morning hours provide uninterrupted time for strategic thinking and personal development. During this time, they engage in what can be called their wealth consciousness routine, a combination of meditation, review of financial goals, and mental preparation for the day ahead. This morning ritual sets the tone for confident decision-making and maintains focus on long-term wealth preservation rather than short-term gains. Time management among the sustainably wealthy follows a distinct pattern that differs markedly from the average person's approach. They operate on what's known as the 90-10 principle, where 90s of their time is spent on activities that either maintain or grow their wealth, while only 10 is allocated to routine maintenance tasks. This doesn't mean they work constantly. Rather, they're incredibly selective about their commitments and ruthless with their time allocation. They understand that time allocation. They understand that time, unlike money, cannot be earned back once spent. The decision-making framework of millionaires revolves around wealth preservation first, then growth. Every major decision passes through a mental filter that asks, how does this affect my wealth in the next 10, 20, or 30 years? This longer time horizon naturally eliminates many of the impulsive choices that often erode wealth. They maintain a daily practice of reviewing their investment positions and market conditions not to trade actively, but to stay informed and ready for opportunities or threats. Health consciousness forms another crucial component of their daily routine. The wealthy understand that their physical and mental well-being is their primary asset. They typically dedicate at least 1 hour daily to physical exercise, not as a luxury, but as a non-negotiable investment in their human capital. This includes regular medical checkups, proper nutrition, and adequate sleep, all viewed through the lens of protecting and enhancing their ability to maintain wealth over the long term. The concept of habit stacking plays a vital role in the daily routines of millionaires. They combine wealth-building activities with other necessary tasks to ensure consistency. For example, they might conduct business calls during their morning walk or listen to financial podcasts during their commute. This efficiency-driven approach ensures that every minute of the day contributes to their wealth-maintaining objectives. Evening routines are equally important in the daily life of the wealthy. They typically spend time reviewing their day's accomplishments, planning for tomorrow, and engaging in activities that promote mental clarity and stress reduction. Many successful people maintain a wealth journal where they record their financial insights, decisions, and lessons learned. This practice of regular reflection helps them identify patterns in their decision-making and continuously refine their wealth preservation strategies. The wealthy also incorporate regular learning into their daily routines, dedicating time to stay current with financial trends, tax laws, and economic developments. This isn't casual reading, it's strategic information gathering that informs their wealth preservation decisions. They often maintain relationships with a network of advisors and schedule regular check-ins to ensure their wealth strategy remains aligned with current market conditions and opportunities. These daily practices might seem basic or even obvious, but their power lies in their consistency and intentional implementation. The wealthy don't view these routines as temporary measures, but as permanent lifestyle choices that support their long-term financial goals. By adopting these daily habits, you begin to think and act like those who have successfully maintained their wealth across decades, making wealth preservation a natural outcome rather than a constant struggle. Lesson 3. Spending like the wealthy. Smart V's. Showy. True wealth operates in silence. While social media and popular culture bombard us with images of luxury cars, designer clothing, and lavish vacations, the genuinely wealthy often practice a form of financial stealth that keeps their fortune intact and growing. This invisible wealth principle stands in stark contrast to visible consumption, where people feel compelled to display their financial status through material possessions. The wealthy understand that most purchases depreciate immediately, draining resources that could otherwise be generating returns. They approach spending with a value-based mindset, asking not, "Can I afford this?" but rather, "Does this purchase align with my long-term wealth objectives?" This subtle shift in thinking transforms spending from an emotional impulse into a strategic decision. Consider the 10-90 rule that many wealthy people follow, allocating no more than 10 of their income to luxury or discretionary spending while directing 90 toward wealth-building activities and necessities. This approach allows for enjoyment of life's pleasures while maintaining strict discipline over the majority of their resources. The key lies not in complete abstinence from luxury, but in strategic indulgence that doesn't compromise long-term financial stability. The wealthy also maintain acute awareness of depreciation in their purchasing decisions. They recognize that certain assets like collector cars or fine art might appreciate over time, while others, such as electronics or fashion items, lose value rapidly. This understanding leads them to invest heavily in appreciating assets while minimizing exposure to depreciating ones. When they do purchase depreciating assets, they do so with clear awareness of the cost in terms of both immediate expense and lost opportunity for investment. Smart spending involves understanding the difference between assets that work for you and liabilities that work against you. The wealthy often choose to rent luxury items for specific occasions rather than own them outright, recognizing that ownership of certain status symbols can become a financial burden. They might charter a yacht for a special celebration rather than maintain one year-round, or lease a luxury vehicle rather than purchase it outright. The concept of strategic indulgence plays a crucial role in maintaining long-term wealth. Rather than denying all pleasures, the wealthy carefully select moments of indulgence that provide maximum satisfaction without compromising their financial foundation. This might mean staying in modest accommodations during business travel, but splurging on a family vacation home that creates lasting memories and potentially appreciates in value. Another hallmark of wealthy spending habits is the emphasis on quality over quantity. Instead of filling their lives with numerous mediocre items, they invest in fewer, higher-quality pieces that last longer and retain their value better. This approach extends beyond material possessions to experiences, relationships, and business investments. The wealthy understand that true luxury lies not in accumulating many things, but in having the freedom to choose quality in all aspects of life. The wealthy also recognize that some of the best investments may appear as expenses to others. They readily spend on personal development, health maintenance, and relationship building. As that might seem like unnecessary expenses to those with a shorter-term perspective, these investments in human capital often yield returns that far exceed traditional financial investments, though their benefits might not be immediately visible on a balance sheet. Developing this sophisticated approach to spending requires a fundamental shift in how we view money and value. It means moving beyond the immediate gratification of visible consumption to the lasting satisfaction of building sustainable wealth. By adopting these spending principles, anyone can begin to create the foundation for lasting financial success, ensuring that their wealth serves their long-term goals rather than temporary desires. Lesson 4. Power of long-term thinking. The wealthiest families in history share one fundamental characteristic. They think in centuries, not years. This profound shift in temporal perspective distinguishes those who maintain wealth across generations from those who merely accumulate it temporarily. When you begin to view your wealth-building journey through the lens of decades and centuries, your daily decisions transform dramatically. Consider the Rothschild family, whose banking dynasty has persisted for over 200 years. Their success wasn't built on quarterly profits or annual returns, but on a vision that extended far beyond their immediate lifetimes. They understood that true wealth isn't about maximizing short-term gains, but about creating sustainable systems that generate value across generations. This approach requires us to transcend our natural human tendency to seek immediate gratification and instead embrace delayed rewards that compound over time. The concept of century thinking begins with understanding that every financial decision you make today creates ripples that extend far into the future. When evaluating investments, business opportunities, or major purchases, the wealthy don't just ask, "How will this benefit me now?" Instead, they consider, "How will this choice affect my family's wealth in 50 or 100 years?" This shift in perspective often leads to dramatically different decisions, favoring sustainable, scalable assets over quick returns. The mathematics of compound interest becomes even more powerful when viewed through this extended time frame. A single dollar invested at a 7th annual return becomes more than $860, $7 after 100 years. This simple calculation demonstrates why the ultra-wealthy focus on establishing foundational assets that can grow undisturbed for decades. They understand that the real power of compound interest only becomes apparent in the later years, which is why patience and preservation become paramount virtues. Building businesses with multi-generational potential requires a different approach than creating a company for a quick exit. It means developing sustainable competitive advantages, creating strong corporate cultures, and implementing governance structures that can survive their founders. The Hermes family exemplifies this approach, having transformed a saddle-making workshop into a global luxury brand that has remained family, controlled since 1837. They achieved this by prioritizing quality and craftsmanship over rapid expansion and by carefully planning leadership succession across generations. This long-term mindset extends beyond financial assets to include education, skills, and values. Wealthy families invest heavily in preparing future generations not just to inherit wealth, but to steward it responsibly. They create family constitutions, establish regular family meetings, and develop comprehensive education programs that ensure their descendants understand both the privileges and responsibilities of wealth. This intellectual and moral preparation is often more valuable than the financial assets themselves. The environmental and social impact of wealth also takes on new significance when viewing decisions through a century-long lens. Sustainable investing isn't just about ethical considerations. It's about ensuring that the resources and opportunities that generated wealth continue to exist for future generations. This might mean investing in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, or technology that solves long-term global challenges. Legacy creation becomes a natural outcome of century thinking. Rather than focusing solely on accumulation, the truly wealthy think about how their actions will be viewed by their great-grandchildren. They ask themselves what stories will be told about their stewardship of family resources, what values they're instilling, and what impact their wealth will have on society at large. This perspective often leads to the establishment of family foundations, charitable trusts, and other vehicles that extend positive influence far into the future. Your ability to adopt this long-term perspective will largely determine your success in maintaining wealth across generations. It requires developing the discipline to resist short-term opportunities that might compromise long-term stability, the wisdom to invest in sustainable growth rather than rapid gains, and the foresight to prepare future generations for their role in preserving and growing the family legacy. Lesson 5. How rich people protect their money. The wealthy understand that making money is only half the battle. Protecting it is equally crucial for lasting prosperity. While many focus on accumulation, the truly successful know that wealth preservation requires sophisticated defensive strategies that go far beyond basic savings accounts and investment diversification. At the core of wealth protection lies the concept of strategic structuring. The affluent often utilize various legal entities such as trusts, limited liability companies, LCs, and family limited partnerships to create multiple layers of protection around their assets. These structures serve as both legal shields and efficient vehicles for wealth transfer, ensuring that family fortunes remain intact despite potential lawsuits, economic downturns, or other threats. Insurance plays a far more strategic role in wealth preservation than most realize. The wealthy don't just buy basic coverage. They implement comprehensive insurance strategies that include umbrella policies, specialized coverage for unique assets, and sophisticated life insurance structures that serve multiple purposes, from estate tax mitigation to investment opportunities. These insurance strategies often work in concert with their broader wealth protection framework. Diversification takes on new meaning at higher wealth levels. True diversification extends beyond just stocks and bonds to include alternative investments, real estate holdings in different geographic locations, and even citizenship or residency programs in multiple countries. This global approach to asset allocation helps insulate wealth from country-specific risks and provides options during times of political or economic instability. The ultra-wealthy also employ sophisticated tax optimization strategies that focus on long-term efficiency rather than short-term savings. They structure their investments and business dealings to maximize tax advantaged opportunities while maintaining full compliance with tax laws. This might include strategic use of qualified opportunity zones, 1031 exchanges for real estate, or carefully planned charitable giving programs that serve both philanthropic goals and tax efficiency. Risk management for the wealthy operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Physical security measures protect tangible assets, while cybersecurity protocols safeguard digital wealth and personal information. Regular risk assessments examine everything from investment portfolio exposure to potential reputation risks that could impact business interests or family privacy. The wealthy approach wealth protection as an ongoing process rather than a one-time setup. They regularly review and update their strategies with teams of professional advisors, including attorneys, accountants, insurance specialists, and investment managers. These professionals work together to ensure that all aspects of the wealth protection strategy remain coordinated and effective as laws, markets, and family circumstances change. A crucial aspect of wealth protection that's often overlooked is intellectual property rights management. Whether it's patents, trademarks, or proprietary business processes, the wealthy understand that these intangible assets often represent significant value that must be protected through proper legal frameworks and ongoing monitoring. Privacy management has become increasingly important in wealth protection strategies. The wealthy use various tools and techniques to maintain confidentiality while conducting business and personal affairs. This might include private trust companies, nominee directors, or careful structuring of public records to minimize exposure of personal information while maintaining legal compliance. The most successful wealth protection strategies integrate seamlessly with wealth growth objectives. Rather than viewing protection measures as purely defensive, the wealthy see them as enabling tools that provide the foundation for confident expansion and investment in new opportunities. This balanced approach ensures that wealth can be preserved without sacrificing the potential for continued growth and development. Lesson 6. Passive income is the new royalty. In medieval times, royalty lived off the consistent income generated by their lands and subjects, never having to work directly for their wealth. Today's wealthy have discovered a modern equivalent. Passive income streams that work tirelessly on their behalf. This fundamental shift in income generation has become the cornerstone of sustainable wealth in the modern era. The transition from trading time for money to establishing systems that generate income independently represents a crucial evolution in wealth building. Wealthy people understand that relying solely on active income, no matter how substantial, creates a ceiling on both earnings and freedom. By developing multiple passive income streams, they create a foundation of financial security that continues to grow regardless of their direct involvement. Real estate stands as a prime example of this principle in action. Whether through rental properties, real estate investment trusts, REITs, or commercial developments, property has historically provided consistent returns through both appreciation and regular income. The wealthy often start with a single property and systematically expand their portfolio, creating a self-perpetuating cycle of wealth generation that requires minimal daily oversight. Digital assets have emerged as the new frontier of passive income generation. Online businesses, content platforms, and digital products can generate revenue around the clock without geographical limitations. A well-designed app, online course, or subscription service can continue delivering value and generating income long after the initial creation phase. The scalability of digital assets makes them particularly attractive, as they can serve millions of customers with virtually no additional cost per user. Intellectual property represents another powerful vehicle for passive wealth creation. Patents, trademarks, and copyrights can generate royalties for decades, creating multi-generational wealth streams. Many wealthy people actively seek opportunities to develop or acquire intellectual property rights, understanding their long-term value potential. A single successful patent or widely licensed trademark can generate substantial ongoing revenue with minimal maintenance requirements. Investment vehicles like dividend, paying stocks, bonds, and index funds form another crucial layer of passive income strategy. The wealthy typically construct diversified portfolios that generate regular cash flow through dividends and interest payments. These investments continue performing regardless of the owner's direct involvement, creating a reliable income stream that can grow substantially over time through reinvestment and compound interest. Business automation has become increasingly central to passive income generation. By implementing systems and processes that can operate independently, wealthy people transform what might have been active businesses into passive income machines. This might involve hiring capable management teams, implementing automated marketing systems, or developing self-service customer interfaces that reduce the need for direct involvement. The concept of leverage plays a vital role in passive income strategy. The wealthy understand that using other people's time, money, or resources can multiply their income, generating potential. This might involve partnering with others who bring complementary skills, utilizing debt strategically for asset acquisition, or building teams that can manage and grow income, producing ventures autonomously. The true power of passive income lies in its cumulative effect. As each income stream develops and matures, it provides capital that can be reinvested into creating additional passive revenue sources. This snowball effect accelerates wealth building while simultaneously reducing vulnerability to any single income source. The wealthy focus on continuously identifying and developing new passive income opportunities while maintaining and optimizing existing ones. Modern technology has democratized access to passive income opportunities, making it possible to start building these streams with relatively modest initial investments. However, the wealthy approach passive income development with strategic patience, understanding that creating truly sustainable passive income requires careful planning, system development, and ongoing optimization. They view passive income not as a get-rich-quick scheme, but as a long-term wealth-building strategy that, when properly executed, can provide financial security for generations to come. Lesson 7. Mentorship, masterminds, and who you know. The preservation of wealth relies heavily on the connections you cultivate and maintain. Throughout history, the most successful and enduring wealthy families have understood that their network is their net worth, and they've strategically positioned themselves within circles that enhance their prosperity. Your journey to lasting wealth begins with a critical evaluation of your 5 closest relationships. These people shape your thinking, influence your decisions, and ultimately impact your financial trajectory. Wealthy people deliberately surround themselves with others who challenge their assumptions, expand their possibilities, and hold them accountable to higher standards. They understand that proximity is power, and they leverage this principle by carefully curating their inner circle. The concept of mentorship takes on new meaning when pursuing sustainable wealth. While many seek mentors for quick tips or short-term gains, the truly wealthy pursue deep, long-term relationships with those who have successfully maintained their wealth across different market cycles and economic conditions. These mentors provide more than just tactical advice. They offer wisdom born from experience, helping you avoid costly mistakes and recognize opportunities that others might miss. The right mentor can compress decades of learning into months, saving you both time and capital while accelerating your wealth preservation journey. Masterminds represent another crucial element in the wealth sustainability equation. These carefully constructed groups of peers serve as personal boards of directors, offering perspectives and insights that would be impossible to gain in isolation. The most effective masterminds combine people from diverse backgrounds but similar wealth levels, creating an environment where members can speak openly about their challenges and opportunities. These groups often become the source of joint ventures, investment opportunities, and strategic alliances that enhance everyone's wealth position. The wealthy also understand the importance of maintaining relationships across different social and professional spheres. They cultivate connections with legal experts who understand complex wealth preservation structures, tax professionals who stay current with changing regulations, investment advisors who think in generational terms, and business leaders who can open doors to new opportunities. These relationships form a protective network around their wealth, providing early warning systems for threats and rapid response capabilities for opportunities. Beyond professional connections, the sustainably wealthy invest in relationships with other wealthy families, particularly those who have maintained their wealth for multiple generations. These relationships often lead to informal knowledge sharing about family governance, succession planning, and wealth education for the next generation. The children of wealthy families who interact with peers from similar backgrounds tend to develop more sophisticated perspectives on wealth management and preservation. Network building for wealth preservation requires a different approach than networking for wealth creation. While the latter might focus on quantity and immediate opportunities, the former emphasizes quality and long-term alignment. The wealthy understand that their network needs to be carefully maintained through regular engagement, mutual value creation, and genuine interest in others' success. They host private gatherings, create exclusive forums for dialogue, and facilitate connections between members of their network, strengthening the bonds that protect and enhance their wealth. One often overlooked aspect of relationship building for wealth preservation is the importance of maintaining connections across generations. The wealthy actively introduce their children to the children of their network members, creating the foundation for future alliances and opportunities. They understand that wealth preservation is a multi-generational endeavor, and the relationships they build today may prove most valuable to their heirs tomorrow. Your network should evolve as your wealth grows, but the fundamental principles remain constant. Seek those who have achieved what you aim to maintain, cultivate relationships that challenge and improve you, and create environments where mutual success is celebrated and supported. The truly wealthy know that sustainable wealth is never created in isolation. It's the product of strategic relationships, carefully maintained over time, that provide both protection and opportunity for growth. Lesson 8. Generational wealth. The greatest threat to family wealth isn't market volatility, poor investments, or even excessive taxation. It's the next generation's preparedness to handle wealth responsibly. Studies consistently show that 70 of wealthy families lose their fortune by the second generation and 90s by the third. This sobering reality stems not from a lack of financial resources, but from inadequate preparation of heirs to manage and grow their inheritance. Creating generational wealth requires a deliberate and systematic approach to education that begins early. Wealthy families who successfully preserve their assets across generations typically start financial literacy education when their children are young, often as early as age 5 or 6. These lessons begin with basic concepts like saving and delayed gratification, gradually progressing to more complex topics like investment strategies, business management, and wealth preservation techniques. Beyond pure financial education, successful wealth transfer depends heavily on instilling proper values and work ethic. Many wealthy families implement what's known as the three-bucket system, dividing inheritance into funds for education, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle. This approach encourages heirs to pursue their own achievements while providing a safety net that doesn't enable complacency. The education bucket ensures continuous learning and skill development, the entrepreneurship bucket provides capital for business ventures, and the lifestyle bucket maintains quality of life without excessive luxury. Family governance structures play a crucial role in preparing the next generation. Regular family meetings, investment committees, and philanthropic boards, where younger members participate alongside experienced family leaders, provide practical experience in wealth management. These structures create opportunities for mentorship, allow for guided decision-making, and help develop the judgment needed to handle significant wealth responsibly. Communication about wealth must be open and honest, but carefully calibrated to the heir's age and maturity level. Many wealthy families make the mistake of either complete secrecy about family wealth or overwhelming their children with too much information too soon. The key is progressive disclosure, sharing information about family wealth in stages coupled with increasing responsibility and accountability. Practical experience remains the best teacher. Successful families often create learning laboratories where next-generation members can make financial decisions with limited amounts of capital. These might include managing a small investment portfolio, running a family charitable foundation, or overseeing a small family business unit. These experiences provide real-world lessons while limiting potential losses from early mistakes. Professional development should extend beyond financial management. Future wealth stewards need training in leadership, communication, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence. Many wealthy families require their heirs to work outside the family business first, gaining external experience and proving their capabilities in the marketplace before taking on family responsibilities. Perhaps most importantly, preparing the next generation involves helping them develop their own identity and purpose, separate from the family wealth. This includes supporting their personal passions and career interests, even if they differ from family traditions. Heirs who feel forced into roles they didn't choose often become resentful or incompetent stewards of family wealth. Estate planning must align with this preparation process. Rather than simple wealth transfer mechanisms, estate plans should incorporate incentive structures that reward education, entrepreneurship, and responsible behavior. These might include matching funds for business ventures, education, bonuses, or philanthropic responsibilities tied to inheritance levels. The goal is to create a framework that encourages growth and responsibility while providing appropriate support and opportunity. The most successful wealth transfers occur when the next generation feels prepared and worthy of their responsibility rather than entitled to it. This preparation is a long-term process that requires patience, dedication, and consistent effort from both current wealth holders and future generations. When done correctly, it creates not just financial heirs, but true stewards of family legacy who can preserve and grow wealth for generations to come. Lesson 9. The Mindset of Sustainability. True wealth sustainability begins and ends with mindset. The world's most enduring fortunes aren't maintained by accident, but through a carefully cultivated way of thinking that becomes embedded in every decision and action. This mindset extends far beyond mere money management. It encompasses a holistic approach to life, resources, and legacy that separates those who temporarily possess wealth from those who maintain it across decades. At its core, the sustainability mindset operates on the principle of stewardship rather than ownership. The wealthy who maintain their fortunes across generations view themselves not as owners of their resources, but as careful custodians responsible for growing and protecting assets for future beneficiaries. This subtle shift in perspective changes everything, from how investments are evaluated to how daily expenses are approached. The sustainability mindset also embraces the concept of circular wealth creation. Instead of viewing wealth as a finite resource to be preserved, It sees it as a renewable force that can be continuously regenerated through strategic action. This means looking for opportunities where resources can be invested in ways that create multiple returns, financial profits that can be reinvested, knowledge that can be applied to new ventures, and relationships that open doors to fresh opportunities. One of the most powerful aspects of the sustainability mindset is its emphasis on adaptability. Markets change, technologies evolve, and economic landscapes transform, but those with true wealth sustainability thinking don't resist these changes. They anticipate and embrace them. They maintain a learning orientation that keeps them nimble and ready to pivot when circumstances demand it, while still maintaining their core wealth preservation principles. The sustainable wealth mindset also incorporates a strong element of value creation for others. The wealthiest families who maintain their fortunes understand that sustainable wealth cannot exist in isolation. It must provide value to the broader community to remain relevant and protected. This might manifest as job creation, technological innovation, or philanthropic initiatives that strengthen social bonds and create goodwill. Environmental consciousness has become an increasingly crucial component of the sustainability mindset. Today's wealthy recognize that long-term financial sustainability is inextricably linked to environmental sustainability. This awareness influences investment choices, business operations, and personal consumption patterns, leading to decisions that balance profit with planetary impact. Another critical aspect of the sustainability mindset is the ability to think in systems rather than isolated events. Every financial decision is evaluated not just for its immediate impact, but for its ripple effects across time and circumstances. This systems thinking helps avoid the common pitfall of making choices that might yield short-term gains, but create long-term vulnerabilities. The sustainability mindset also emphasizes the importance of balance. While aggressive growth might be appropriate in some circumstances, it's balanced against risk management and preservation. While innovation is valued, it's tempered with respect for proven principles. While individual achievement is celebrated, it's balanced with team success and family unity. Perhaps most importantly, the sustainability mindset views wealth as an integrated whole rather than separate components. Physical assets, intellectual capital, social networks, family values, and individual capabilities are all seen as interconnected elements that must be developed and maintained in harmony. This holistic perspective ensures that no single aspect of wealth is developed at the expense of others, creating a more resilient and lasting fortune. Developing this mindset requires consistent practice and conscious effort. It means regularly questioning assumptions, challenging conventional wisdom, and staying true to long-term principles even when short-term temptations arise. It means training oneself to see opportunities and threats, not just in their immediate form, but in their full context and long-term implications. The sustainability mindset becomes a filter through which all decisions pass, ensuring that each choice aligns with the goal of maintaining wealth not just for years, but for generations to come. Lesson 10. You are the legacy. True wealth that endures through generations isn't just about maintaining a hefty bank balance. It's about becoming the living embodiment of the principles that create and sustain abundance. As we conclude our journey through the mechanics of lasting wealth, we arrive at perhaps the most crucial understanding. You yourself must become the example that others will follow. Consider how wealth operates like a mirror, reflecting back the values, habits, and decisions of its steward. When you transform yourself into a model of financial wisdom, you create a powerful blueprint that ripples through time, influencing not just your immediate family, but potentially countless others who observe your path. This transformation begins with integrating everything we've explored in previous chapters into a cohesive way of being. The wealthy who maintain their fortunes across generations understand that their every action teaches a lesson. They demonstrate financial responsibility not through lectures, but through consistent behavior. When you choose to drive a reliable vehicle instead of the flashiest car, when you invest in experiences that enrich rather than impress, when you prioritize financial education over immediate gratification. These choices speak volumes to those watching your journey. Your legacy isn't something that begins after you're gone. It's being written in real time through your daily decisions. The way you handle setbacks, how you celebrate successes, your approach to opportunity, and your response to market volatility. All these moments construct the narrative of your wealth story. The most enduring wealthy families don't just pass down assets. They pass down a living example of how to steward those assets wisely. Building this legacy requires an unwavering commitment to personal growth. The wealthy who sustain their success never stop learning, adapting, and evolving their understanding of markets, technology, and human nature. They remain humble students of wealth creation while simultaneously serving as teachers through their actions. This dual role of perpetual learner and exemplar creates a powerful dynamic that attracts success and inspires others to follow suit. Your relationship with money tells a story that others will read and interpret. When you treat wealth with respect, but not reverence, when you view it as a tool for creating value rather than a measure of worth, you demonstrate the healthy mindset that sustains fortune. This attitude becomes contagious, influencing family members, business partners, and even competitors to adopt a more enlightened approach to wealth creation and preservation. The most powerful legacy you can create is one of financial wisdom in action. This means making decisions that might not be popular or understood in the moment, but prove prescient over time. It means maintaining your principles during both bull and bear markets. It means choosing long-term value over short-term validation. Through these choices, you become a living testament to the principles of sustainable wealth. Your example extends beyond financial decisions into all areas of life. The wealthy who maintain their fortunes understand that physical health, intellectual curiosity, emotional intelligence, and spiritual growth all play crucial roles in sustaining wealth. By nurturing these aspects of yourself, you create a holistic model of success that others can emulate. As you implement the strategies and habits we've explored throughout this book, focus not just on the mechanical aspects of wealth preservation, but on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts and maintains wealth. Your actions, attitudes, and approaches to life's challenges will create ripples that extend far beyond your immediate circle, potentially influencing generations to come. By becoming the rich example, you don't just preserve wealth. You create a legacy of wisdom that can enrich lives for centuries to come.